Hey, y'all, welcome back to another great episode of Late Night Podcast with Bridget and Holly. I'm your host, Bridget.
And I'm your host, Holly.
Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is some of mine and Holly's most embarrassing moments. We're probably going to have another episode on this if we can think of some more stuff. But when you go to do something, it's like your mind's blank. But anyhow, Holly, I'm going to let you start us out because I have a feeling you've got some. And listen, y'all, we don't share with each other before the podcast start. We don't
Yeah.
share what we're going to say because we want a good reaction, a true reaction from y'all. But also, if y'all will, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button so you can watch us every Tuesday and Friday at 11 p.m. for more great episodes just like this. So, Holly, what's your most embarrassing moment?
Okay, so I won't start with like my craziest ones yet. I'll just do like a little one. So, okay, one that happened to me, I was in the seventh grade and I was in Miss Bundy's class and I was sitting in the front of the class. And you know how when you sit in your desk and you got your pocketbook, you take and you put it over your chair or whatever. Well, my pocketbook slid off my desk or whatever, and so I went to lean over to get it. And when I leaned over, my desk flipped over, and everybody in class was laughing. And I got up, I grabbed my pocketbook, and I put my head down on my desk, and everybody was laughing, and I was crying, and I said, "It's not funny." And Miss Bundy come over there to check on me, and I had gashed my hand from falling and I was bleeding and I was
Oh,
so embarrassed. I had blood on my forehead because I was like this on my desk just a crying. But that was so embarrassing because it was so quiet in class. And we were doing, did you ever do like in class, like the teacher would write on the board, Happy Thanksgiving? And you would have to see how many words you could come up with and
yeah.
make our Happy Thanksgiving. That's actually what we were doing. It was Happy Thanksgiving. We're about to go on Thanksgiving break. Yeah, my chunky little ass fell out of my desk. Well, fell over in my desk. That was really embarrassing for me. That was
How
embarrassing.
funny. You know it was because you remember in every detail about it. You remember down to the Happy Thanksgiving on the board.
Yes, yes, yeah. I came up with a lot of words though. I will say I did. I made
I
that thing
bet
my
you
bitch.
did. I bet you did. So I guess I'll start out with a story about where one time I went to Red Lobster. And this is more of an embarrassing moment where I stuck my foot in my mouth. So I
Hmm.
went to Red Lobster and we ate, and that night we had a terrible waitress. She was god awful. We didn't have drink when we needed. If we asked for condiments, it took her forever to bring it. If we wanted, anything, napkins or anything, it was like an act of Congress to get it. And so the next week we go back, and our waiter, he was a guy, and he was fucking amazing, wonderful. And I happened to say to him at the end of the night, because I always compliment somebody if they're a good waiter or waitress, and I happened to tell him at the end of the night, I said, you know what? I said, you have been amazing tonight. I said, thank God we got you. We'll ask for you next time. I said, because last week, the girl we got, I said, that bitch didn't know what the fuck she was doing. I said, she was an awful waitress. She don't need to be waitressing. She needs to go home and figure out something else for her to do on the life path and all this stuff. I mean, I was just giving it down the road. And he looks at me and he goes, really? He said, well, which waitress is it? Do you mind telling me? And I said, I really shouldn't do that. And he goes, really, I won't say anything. And I looked and looked and looked and wait a minute. I said, there she is. And I pointed at her and he turns around and looks and he turns back around real slow and he looks at me and he goes, that's my wife.
Oh, oh no.
I said, what? He goes, yeah. And I said, oh my God. I said, I'm so sorry. I mean, I turned 50 shades of red.
What
And
did he say?
he was like, no, it's all right. He said, I've told her she needs to work on this, this, and this little bit. And he said, but I'll definitely talk to her about it and let her know that people are outwardly complaining about her. He said, because, she needs to do better with that stuff. And I said, oh my God, please forgive me. I said, I would have never called her that if I would have known it's your wife. And he goes, no, really, it's okay. But you could tell he was just so. Now,
Oh,
interestingly enough, it turns out that he ended up being somebody that worked with my best friend's husband Tommy at the city, and later on we went to Oktoberfest years later, and I saw him out there, and I said hey to him, and because by then I had remembered him, and he looks at me and he goes, and I said, "You remember me, don't you?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, I remember you." And I said, he said, "You called my wife a bitch?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, she is a bitch. She's my ex-wife now."
Oh my God. So they ended up getting a divorce.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah.
see, she was so bad. And you made him see that. He was like, nah, bye, bitch.
Yes,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
I bet.
That's a that's hilarious. But Bridget, what are the odds of that? Think about it. What are
That's
the
what I said.
odds?
Yep.
God, that's
They were both
crazy.
working there, and but the look on his face when he turned around and looked at her, and he looked back at me real slow, and he goes, "That's my wife." And I was like, "Oh God,"
Wow.
because
Hey, at
I
least he
called
was
her.
honest. At
I
least
know I
he
gave
could
her
have
every
just been
name in the
like,
book.
yeah. Oh my God, that's funny. Um, let's see. Okay, I've got I've got another one. So one time I was vacuuming my living room, and let this be a warning for all of y'all, and to be cautious. And I was vacuuming, and you know how you take apart your vacuum cleaner, you get those little corners and stuff that you can't reach, so you use the hose. So I was doing that, and I leaned down beside my couch, and I was vacuuming that corner and stuff like that. And I put the hose back on, and I'm still vacuuming, and I'm like, damn, it's fucking hot in here. And I had the air on and the fan running, and I was like, well, it's just because I'm moving around. And I was like, damn, it's really hot. I almost felt like so hot that I was going to start sweating. And I was like, damn, something just don't feel right. And I was like, God, my head's burning. I had caught this whole side of my hair on fire because I had a candle lit on the little end table that I leaned beside to vacuum and did not realize that all my hair was in it. I was the only one home. I was screaming. I was crying. And I took off. All I knew to do was I left the vacuum cleaner on and flung it down. Ran right to the bathroom. Stuck my head in the faucet and just doused the water on it. And I had to get my hair cut so short because of it. But that was so embarrassing. So, ladies and men, if you have long hair and you are vacuuming and you got a candle lit, be careful before bending down. Remember where you got those candles lit because your girl was on fire.
Listen to her. I smell. I smell fire somewhere.
And you know I smelled smoke because I was like, I forgot to tell you that too. I was like, God, I smell something burning. I thought it was the vacuum cleaner because you know how sometimes you can suck up the damn hose and then start or the cord and it start smelling like rubber. And I was like, damn, is the vacuum cleaner on fire? I totally forgot about that. And I was like, fuck no, my head's on fire.
Run around looking like a match.
Oh, I
Holly
called my
running around looking like
mama.
a match.
I
That red
did. I
hair.
called my mama and she was like, Lord young, and she said, what am I gonna do with you? I said, Mom, I don't know, but I was so scared. She said, well, do you got any burned? You know, are you damaged? Do you have any, you had 30-degree burns or anything? And I was like, no, luckily it didn't get my actual head. I caught it in time because my hair is so thick. So thank God for thick hair.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so moving on to my next one. Okay. So me and my first boyfriend, we used to park. You know what I'm saying? And when you'd park, you know
And
what would
neck.
happen when you'd park. You know.
You would neck.
Let's get it on.
Oh,
Let's
sugar.
get it on. Anyhow, that would happen. Now, oddly enough, we'd never wanted to get caught, so we decided to knock boots in the graveyard. that was
Bridget.
that was our parking spot because we
For
realized
all those dead people to see y'all.
we knew we wasn't gonna wake anybody up. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh, God.
so we always we did that. So one night we was getting done. We was both getting dressed. And, a car's tight. I had my feet standing in the floorboard, and my butt was against the window, and I was shimmying my pants back on and everything. And this particular night, you got it was a knock on my window. on this side with my ass in the. It scared the shit out of
Oh
me.
my
I
God.
jumped. I was like, "Oh my god!" And I had jumped over on him, and we were both looking out the window because he wasn't prepared for it either. He was trying to get dressed too, and it was a cop, and he said, "Roll down the window."
Oh my God.
And so I rolled down the window, and I said, I had to, and I looked at him and I said, "Yes, sir." And he goes, "I don't know what's going on here. I don't want to know, but y'all can't park here." And I was like, "Okay, okay, okay." And I just knew he was going to call my daddy, but he
Oh
didn't.
my
He just
God.
told us to leave. But he got the full moon that night because when he knocked on my window, my butt was pressed up against that window.
He saw nothing but ass.
Well, he might have
Oh
saw a little
my
bit more
God.
ass, but I'm just telling you. And I was so embarrassed, but I was so glad he was cool enough just to tell us to leave
And
and
not tell
don't
you,
come
did he?
back. But we went back
Exactly.
there the next weekend.
Didn't learn your lesson, did you?
Did not. I was a
Oh
hard
my,
headed
you was
child.
ass sprawled again, wouldn't you?
It sure was. Sure was. We just
That's a
parked
good
on the
one.
west. We parked on the west side of the graveyard instead of the east side.
Oh my, well, at least you changed locations. That's the
Do
important
you
thing. You
know the other thing though? Once I say this, my husband's gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna." But me and my husband are gonna be buried. Me and my husband is gonna be buried there.
Oh God! At least don't let the plot be where the car was parked at, where you were knocking
Very
boots.
close. Very close.
Oh dang! You want to remember that forever, don't you?
Put it this way. Put it this way. We're gonna be buried here, and in the same line. It's the road out here in the same line as it. And once my husband hears this, he's not. That's not registered to him. He's gonna be like,
Oh God!
"I'm not being buried there. We just gonna sell our plots and move." But I'm not because my dad's gonna be buried there. So listen.
Oh my God! I tell
Mm-mm.
you what, I bet you, Monday morning, Mr. Ronnie's gonna take you by the hand and say, "Come on, we're going to the funeral home. We got to reserve some other plots. We'll leave these for we'll leave these for Sissy and Kyle, and we'll just go up a little bit more, not so close to where the car was."
That's
Oh my
badass.
God, that is crazy. That's crazy. Um, okay, here's a really embarrassing one, and I
Go
can't
ahead.
believe I'm about to tell this on social media. But I was little. I don't care, people. I don't give a shit. So I was probably, which I know you're our only sibling, but I'm sure probably Sissy and
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm not an only sibling. I'm an only child.
yeah, only sibling, only child. Same thing, ain't it?
Now a sibling is a brother or sister.
Or what? You know what I mean?
I go.
Look,
Another
I'm a little
most
nervous about.
embarrassing moment. You got another most
I'm a.
embarrassing moment.
That's another embarrassing moment. Yes, I'm a little like
It's it's late, y'all.
discom.
It's late.
Well, I'm discombobulated. I'm about to share this. Okay, I call this story my brother's best friend's bike. But I would tell you why. First of all, y'all can all agree with me that when your older brother brought home his friends, don't tell me you have little crushes on them. Okay, okay, because I did with almost everyone he brought home. And now my brother is 3 years older than me. So keep in mind, I'm the baby of my family. So I was like 7 or 8, okay? And I just, God. So my brother and his best friend were here, and we all rode bikes together. But his best friend had a really cool fucking bike. It was green with a white seat. It was just like cool, and I thought he was so fine. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna get on his bike. Okay, so I got on his bike. Well, my butt started itching, and I took and grinded my butt on the tip of that seat to itch it. But that ain't the funny part. The funny part is my brother's best friend was standing at the window watching me do that to his bike. And I was like, so fucking embarrassed. And I was like,
How
oh
did you know
my.
he was watching you? What did he do? Call you out for it and be like, "What was you doing to my bike?"
No, because the bicycle was parked on the side of the house, and I just happened to look over as I was going to town, scratching my ass on his bike. He was staring at me. I was like,
What was the look on his face?
oh my God, like,
What
what
the
the
fuck you
fuck is
doing?
she doing?
Just scratching my ass, yeah.
Girl,
Scratching
I got
my
off
ass.
that bike. I got off that bike and flung it down and ran right back to the clubhouse in the field. Did not show my face till he went home. I was
I,
so embarrassed. Needless to say, he did come over and he never said anything,
he'd
but
be like, I like your moves, girl.
but that was so embarrassing for me. Like I mean, I was 7 or 8, but what made me think I could vandalize his bike like that and scratch my ass on it? I mean, I got on up in there. I got up in there with that damn seat.
Oh
Oh,
my
but
god.
yeah, that was my brother's best friend's bike that I fucked up.
Okay, so let's move on from that one. Oh Lord.
Oh God,
You violated that bike. I'm just gonna
I
tell you.
did, I did,
So
violated it and
anyhow, so one
vandalized it.
time when I was living up in Ickard, now my best friend, still my best friend to this day, Shelly. We have been best friends for as long as I can remember. Damn, I don't even know. But anyhow, I remember one time. Uh, I always used to try to, you're young, you try to spice the sex life up. Here I got another damn sex story. So we try to spice the
Mine
sex
in the
life up.
gutter, y'all. With this one, mine's
Mhm.
always in the gutter, and where I work at, shoot, mine in
Mhm.
the gutter.
Mhm. So anyhow, I decided to buy a maid nightie, and I was going to be vacuuming and cleaning house when my husband at the time, my first husband, came home. I was going to surprise him.
Okay, okay,
Okay,
maid
so
Bridget.
so anyhow, my best friend's gonna remember this. So anyhow, um, is she? I get a knock on the door, and I thought, what the hell's going on? And so I went to the door, and it was Shelly. She showed up unannounced. And I peeked through, and you could tell I had my hair curled. I had my makeup on, real like nightlife kind of makeup, real thick, and all that. And she's like, "Best friend, let me in." She was pushing the door, pushing the door. I said, "No." And she said, "Let me in this house." I said, "No, no." And she said, "Bridget, let me in." And she pushes the door up, and she sees me standing there that night, and she went, "Oh my God." She said, "Turn around, let me see the back." So I had to do the whole spin around for her.
Oh
And
my,
she was
knowing
just
that the ass
hollering.
was probably showing in the back.
She was hollering and laughing. She said, "Oh my God." She said, "At this point, I want to stay and see when he comes in the door." And I said, "Hell, you want to stay and watch us have sex too?"
Oh God.
But I was so embarrassed. Even though she's my best friend and we share everything together, I
Yeah.
just wasn't prepared for her to come up there and see me dressed like that, looking all slutty.
Right. You weren't prepared for that.
No, no, I was not. No, I
Oh
wasn't.
my God, that is funny. I don't think I would have to say though. I don't think that would embarrass me because like Tammy, because again, she watched me grow up because she's 7 years older than I am. And this was not written on my paper, but I've got to tell y'all this because I don't know what the fuck was wrong with me as a kid. But I every time I would
You
take a
sound like
bath,
you had some fucking mental problems. I'm
I
just
don't
gonna
know if
tell
I
you.
was dropped on my head when I was a baby or what, but
I'm kidding.
I would get in the tub, and every time I'd get out the tub, I'd wrap up in my towel. I'd run out the front door, and I would open my towel just on the porch. And my mama would be like, "Get your fucking ass in this damn, in this damn house." I was like 5. And I did that for a hot minute. And I don't know why the fuck that I did that, but she would even be here sometimes about how to get inside. Quick, put your towel back on and come on, come on in the house. So there ain't much of mine that she hadn't seen. So
Well, I don't think
yeah.
I would have been as embarrassed now, but you got to remember, I was in my young 20s.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. I could see being embarrassed at that, but
Mm.
yeah, for me, I guess because I just showed my body off at such a young age, it just was nothing for me. That is
You out
hilarious.
there
That is
flashing
hilarious.
the damn neighborhood, so it shouldn't
I know,
matter.
right? God, and that was so dangerous. Now that I think about it, because of how the world
Yeah.
is now. You know, like
Oh, you
what the
couldn't. Yeah, you couldn't do
fuck?
that now. Because you'd
No.
have the peeping tom across the street wanting to wait for you to do it again.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so my next one that I'm gonna do is I call it the beauty pageant, and only beauty pageant I was in. I was not the girl who wanted to do beauty pageants or anything like that, but I wanted to at least do it to say I was in a beauty pageant. Well, I was, of course, in a beauty pageant. And I was in, God, I can't remember. I think I was in the seventh or eighth grade. I want to say I was in the eighth grade. And I'll never forget, we did the beauty pageant, we did our talents and all this stuff. And two of the girls that were there, they were really, really popular. And you know they're going to win because that's just what they do. They're in beauty pageants and they're always going to win. Now, I will tell you, sorry, y'all, my allergies have been acting up and my eyes are watering because when I get to laughing, I get to tearing up. But anyway, surprisingly, I did come in third, but I think it's because of what happened. So we're on stage standing out nice and pretty and stuff like that. And my mama and Tammy and some of my cousins and stuff are out there in the crowd and school friends. And they're standing there and they're talking about contestant one and this one, da 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 da. So while they're talking, I'm just standing there and I start rocking. And then I start crossing my eyes and I start sticking out my tongue. And then I start bouncing up and down on my tippy toes. And my mama's in the crowd going, stop. Like she did not want me to do it. And the more she said to stop it, the harder that I did it. And everybody, including my mama, I had the entire auditorium fucking laughing at me because I've always been a comedian. I feel like I'm just like the funny girl. I was the class clown because I mean for Pete's sakes, when they came around and asked us what we wanted to be when we grew up, I said a comedian. They were concerned about me. Called my mama off her job to come up to the school because it was important that they needed to talk to her. And when she asked what the problem was, I said, well, we're a little concerned because when we asked your daughter what she wanted to be when she grew up, she said she wanted to be a comedian. And my mama said, you mean to tell me you called me off my job to sit here and tell me that my daughter, because she wants to be a comedian, is a bad thing? And my mama stood up. She said, don't you ever call me off my job like that again. And plus, she'll make a hell of a lot more money than you make. And this was like when I was, I think, like in first or second grade and stuff.
Oh,
But I did win again. I did win third place in the pageant. My mama knew how about me flowers, but I was the talk of the town in a good way for like a really really long time because they're like, "Oh my god, you were so funny," and da 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 da. You should have won, and you know. So yeah, that's my little funny like. Oh, and the point I'm trying to get to, that was not embarrassing for me, but it was embarrassing for my mom. So yeah,
exactly. Exactly. It'd be embarrassing for you now if somebody had a video of it. Thank
I
God we didn't have the
know.
internet back then because that would still be going around the internet now today.
Well, I know somebody's probably got it on tape because back then they would video camera everything. So we
Yeah,
could get like copies and stuff of it. But God, I wouldn't even know who to ask to get a copy of that. But I so would love to see that shit.
that'd be neat.
God.
So my son Wesley, growing up, he never said I. He never said, Mama, I'm hungry or Mama, I want to do this. It was always my. And he did that till probably he was about 5 years old. It'd be like, Mama, my hungry. Mama, my tired. Mama, my sleepy. So everything was my. So bear in mind when I say this. And he did not pronounce his R's very good when he was about 3 or 4. So if it was truck, it was tuck. I want, Mama, I want a tuck. So that's how he'd say it. So this story includes Shelly again. So we're eating at a place called J&S Cafeteria on a Sunday. Okay.
On the
And they was
Lord's
women,
Day.
yeah, on the Lord's Day. And we had a lot of women there. And I don't know if y'all know or not, but black women, when they go to church, they dress to the nines and they got the big hats on. They was in there with their big hats on. You had old white women in there, knowing they just come from church because they was dressed in their little dresses and carrying their matching pocketbooks and da da da. So we go sit down and we get our food. And my son goes to grab his roll of silverware. In that silverware, you have a knife, a spoon, and a fork.
Oh,
Okay.
Jesus.
So I take the silverware away. I grab it out of his hand and take the silverware away, and I take the knife and the fork because he's 3 or 4. He's not supposed to have anything that he could stab somebody with. Okay, just a spoon. And he went, ah. As soon as he seen me pull it away, ah. And I said, Wesley, I'm gonna get the knife and the fork out of here. Ma, want my fuck. And I said loud, and I said, no, Wesley. And he goes, Mama, want my fuck. No,
Oh,
Wesley.
my
All of a
God.
sudden, he gets wound up and he goes, Mama, want to fuck. Mama, want to fuck. And these ladies, these Christian ladies, all come around there. Like, oh my
Oh,
God,
my
is it your
God.
Shelly grabbed my arm. She said, Bridget, give him the damn fork. And I said, I'm not.
Oh,
I will
oh,
not. And he sat there for 20 minutes, I know, crying, Mama, I want to fuck. Why can't I have a fuck, Mama? And it was pitiful. But I was so
oh,
embarrassed.
God.
I was so bad,
Oh,
but I wasn't giving in to him. I wasn't going to give him his fuck because if I did, then the
we're
next
going
time
to
we
give him
went
his
somewhere else,
fuck.
he would want another fuck.
Ah. Oh, my God, Bridget. You talking about that. I got to tell you this little story. Jojo, and it must be every kid that has trouble saying their R's.
Yeah.
Because, and I got a video. Remind me, I'll have to send you this video so you can watch it. And Jojo, it was so funny because she couldn't say the word truck, and when she would say the word truck, like she would go to the bathroom, and she'd be walking to the bathroom. She said, "I fucking pooping," but she was trying to say, "I'm trucking pooping." And
Yeah.
we would get her all the time to say, Jojo, say truck, fuck. Say truck, fuck. And she couldn't say the F and she couldn't say the R. But anytime she would try to say truck, it would come out as fuck.
How
That's
funny.
got to be every kid. It's got to be growing up.
It must be. I don't know. But I
That's
know
so
we were
funny.
pretty embarrassed because it was all the church ladies there and they were all very appalled. And there wasn't anybody in that restaurant that didn't have their eyes on us and they were just, oh my God, they just
I
couldn't
was gonna
believe
say,
it.
I bet every head in that restaurant was turned in y'all's direction.
They
Was
and then
anybody
listen,
laughing though?
I was sitting there and I was just trying to act like nothing was wrong and I was going ahead and getting my fork and I was eating it and I was like choking my food down and everything and I was thinking to myself, if this kid don't shut the fuck up.
Oh my God, was anybody laughing?
No. No.
Really?
No, because here you had a 3-year-old that all he was saying is, it would be different. I don't know. I don't know. Just because he was always saying my want to fuck, my want to fuck. It just sounded like he was addicted to porn or something.
I know he was how old?
3.
3. Oh my God. See now, if I would have been in that restaurant with y'all, I wouldn't have been able to hold it in. I would have laughed so hard because
I
I
needed
think
people
it's
like you. I needed people like you there.
yes, because I think it's so funny. Like it's not like you're not teaching your kid to cuss. It's just how words come out. So
Yeah.
it's damn funny. It's
Yeah.
damn funny. We,
Yeah.
can
Wesley
you
and
hear
his
my
little
choo choo
my
train?
want to fuck. Huh?
You hear my choo choo train in the back?
I do. Y'all, I love choo choo trains. Every
She
time
does.
she hears one, she records it for me.
Yeah, this is the first time I think we've podcasted over. She could actually hear it come by. Speaking of that, because we think that that's, funny when kids like cuss and stuff like that, and also when they do silly things like farting. I have a fart story. Okay, so I'm gonna do my other flatulent story.
Okay.
Because you've been doing the sexy ones, so I'm about to bring y'all a sexy one. So I now because we're older is not a big deal. But when you do that first fart during sex, it's
Queef.
it's it's embarrassing. Now
Yep.
we all know that there is many positions that you can do during sex. You got missionary, you got doggy style, you got wolf style, hostile, any style. And so
Doggy style's
we'll
the worst for a queef.
it is. And I was, downward dog, and we were getting our little boom boom, and my stomach was gurgling anyway, and I was like, oh my God, I feel like I have got too far. And I'm like, I can hold it. And, so we sit there and we doing our little thing or whatever. And next thing you know, I let out the biggest fart. And y'all, this is the bad thing. I don't have silent farts. My farts sound like a fucking moped has backfired. Bridget's heard them. And it's like, hi, damn, Holly, what the fuck was that? So she's
Wait a
heard.
minute. Wait a minute. So you didn't queef like
No.
a twat fart. You literally farted on dude.
Yes. Yes. And it was my husband that I'm with now. And I was so embarrassed, but it scared him because it was so loud and it was like a popping sound. And
He
Jason's
thought he was
like,
getting
what the
shot
fuck
with
was
it.
that?
God.
I thought, don't worry, it
Immediate
wasn't a gunshot. My
immediate
ass back.
soft.
Yeah, my ass backfired, okay? My ass backfired. I was so fucking embarrassed. Because you think you can hold something like that in, but then when you get in certain positions and everything's all spread out, and then you
Yeah.
got something that's like, you know, jerking you, like making you move, it's moving that gas around. Yeah, I just but
So
it
you
did,
might
it
want
scared
to
the
slow
shit
down.
out of
I
me.
got bubble gut tonight. I got bubble gut. Slow down.
I ain't lying, but and it's so funny now because like now if I have that, I'm like, oh, I'm gassy and da da da. I don't care. Like they don't care now. It's like once you do it, they're like, I don't give a shit. Like okay, toot
So
away,
wait,
baby,
you
toot
make it a
away,
habit of farting during sex?
huh?
You make it a habit to fart during sex?
No, I don't make it a habit. But now, like, if I'm like, oh, I don't feel good, my stomach's hurting, and I'm gassy, and I'm like, I don't want to be farting, and we're doing like the deed. He's like, it's okay, baby, it's okay. So I mean, I've done it more than once. I've not done it a whole lot, but yeah,
Now
that was
no,
embarrassing.
I've done a queef, which is a twat fart,
I've done
and
plenty of those.
yeah, doggy style is the worst for that. And I remember the first time it ever happened. It wasn't with my current husband, but the first time it ever happened, I was so embarrassed. But I was very thankful because the guy I was with, he didn't skip a beat, and he was like, "She's talking to me, baby." You know what I'm saying? So I
They
was like, "Oh,
like that.
we good."
Yeah, they like that, and I'm gonna tell
Yeah.
you what's so funny. Bridget is when I did the queef. Mine came after, of course. And every time, I don't know if this is like this for every female, but you're supposed to pee after sex every
Oh
time
yeah.
anyway.
Oh yeah.
But when I got up and walked to the bathroom, I queefed the entire time I walked to the bathroom. And Jason laughed so fucking hard. And I was like, is this normal? Is this queef supposed to be lasting this long? He said, I don't know, baby. He said, but that's some funny shit.
Oh God.
Oh, it was like the queef
I
that never ended.
I wasn't expecting the actual fart during sex. I really thought you
Yeah,
was just
girl.
going with the. My goodness.
We
Okay.
really are an
Okay.
open book, I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, yes, we are. Yes, we are.
So
Is it
what's
my
your
turn?
next?
Okay.
Yes,
So
what's
my
your
other one
next
is.
embarrassing
So
thing?
one time I decided to go with my husband. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna probably name the wrong state, and he's gonna correct me tomorrow, or I'm sorry, whenever this airs, he's gonna be like, "That wasn't where that was." But I don't remember if it's New York or Pennsylvania. I don't really remember. I just know that I've had my gallbladder removed. So when a girl's got to go, she's got to go. Okay, it ain't no 5 minutes. Give me 15 minutes. It's right now. I got to go right now.
Right.
So he had went and he was supposed to make a delivery, and he couldn't make it until like 2 o'clock that afternoon. So we go and park in a parking lot, and on this parking lot, it's in the middle of a block. Okay, so in this block, you got cars going this way, cars going this way, cars going this way, and cars going this way. They're going all around the block. Okay,
Oh God.
so I tell him, I said, "Honey, I have got to shit," and he's like, "Well, I don't know what to tell you because I can't move this truck." He said, "I've got to stay right here for this delivery. If I move, drivers have to count their time and stuff. He said, I start my time all over and da da da. I can't remember what it was. And I was like, oh my God, I really got to go. I really got to go. So he goes, well, I don't know what to tell you. So I grabbed the tissue and out of the truck I go. And I think he thought I was going to try to walk somewhere discreet. So I think to myself, I'm just going to get under the truck. If I get under the truck, under those landing gears, I might be all right. So I turn my back to the road and I go to shit. I shit in the parking lot and I leave this big old pile of shit.
Oh my!
Okay. And so he gets out of the truck and he's looking for me. And he's looking around, and he comes to the back of the truck and he looks under the truck and he goes, what are you doing? I said, I'm shitting. And he said, babe. I said, what? He said, look behind you. He said, but there was a whole line of traffic and they could all see my ass and the shit coming
Oh
out
my
of it.
God! Did you
And
have
he was
toilet
like,
paper?
and he said, hurry up and wipe and get done, come out from underneath there. And I said, I'm still going.
Oh my God! Did
Because
you have toilet paper?
I was in mid shit. I had to finish, and I took the tissue paper and wiped and stuck it on top of the shit and just left it there.
Oh my God! So you did have toilet paper. I was going to ask, were you able to wipe with toilet paper? Did you have to use leaves or grass or? Oh my
I
God!
had
How
toilet
many
paper.
people would you say saw you taking a dump?
Probably 10 or 15, if not more. But what got me was, I think the thing that I wasn't paying attention to is because it was in like a busy city. You kept hearing honk 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 honk, and people were honking, and I think they were honking at me, but I didn't realize it. I thought they were honking at
Girl,
each other.
if social media would have been a thing back then, your ass would have been all over YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
Look at this girl sitting under the truck. Yeah, buddy.
Oh
Sure woulda.
God! Oh
Sure
my
woulda.
God! That's hilarious. Okay, I got one more. Um, I got one more for y'all. Um, okay, so this is sort of embarrassing, but and people might not think that it's too embarrassing. But I'll never forget when me and my best friend Tammy, and when she watches this podcast, she's gonna be like, "Bitch, I so remember that night," because so many other things happened that night, but this is one that I'm gonna tell from it. And we went to one of our favorite clubs, and we're sitting there and we're drinking and we having us a good time. And I'm fucked up, y'all. I am fucked up. Mind y'all, I wasn't but 16 either. But anyway, she always took me to the clubs and bought me stuff to drink. That's just what we did back then. And so we're out there on the dance floor and all this, and I'm dancing with this guy. And next thing you know, I fall flat down on my ass. Everybody on the dance floor stops and looks at me. But you know what I do? Your girl made it her bitch. I sat right there on my ass and danced and scooted all on the dance floor. And everybody started back dancing.
They're like, oh,
Tammy laughed so
this was
hard.
a new dance move. We'll just sit on the ass
Yes.
and do that.
Tammy laughed so hard at that. She come out to the dance floor and because when she was
She
like
sat
on the
down
dance
with you.
floor. Right. She was on the dance floor, but she was like kind of off to the side. And she was laughing so hard. I think she peed herself and she was taken and grabbed my hands and got me up. And we just started back dancing again. But yeah, it was
Oh my
embarrassing. I let it embarrass me for a second. But then I was like, I'm going to flip this around. I'm just going to boot, scoot, and boogie on the dance floor.
That's better than a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people fall and they'll be getting up before they ever fall down. Have you ever seen that? Like
Yeah.
trying to do it real fast. Like nobody saw that. Nobody saw
Yep.
that.
But I sat there and I owned it. I owned it.
There you go. So I'll give you another one. Okay. One night I spent the night with I told you once we got going I would remember things. So one night we spent the night I spent the night with two sisters. Okay, I was
Uh
friends
huh.
with both of them. Okay, they were Jehovah's Witnesses. Okay, now the
Hi.
reason I'm telling you that is because it has something to do with this story. Um, so that night one of us, I don't know who it was, came up with the idea to sneak a guy in the window and he had alcohol. Okay. He
Oh,
had he
hell.
had a fifth of liquor. Okay. So, we're all drinking on it and they're sipping on it and he's sipping on it and me, I'm chugging it. Liquor, just chugging it. And this is my first time
Chug,
drinking.
chug, chug, chug.
Right. First time drinking. Okay.
Oh, that was your first time drinking.
First time drinking. And I
Oh
was
my
drinking it like it was
gosh.
water. like it was water.
Ooh, baby girl. Ooh, baby girl.
So I get pretty damn drunk. Okay. So that night I get drunk. I pass out in their bed. So the next day I wake up to my daddy standing over their bed saying, "Get your ass up. We're going home."
Ooh.
And when I set up, the friend's mom and dad walked in and said, "Oh no, before she goes, she's going to change them sheets because she's peed all in that bed." I had peed in my friend's bed,
Oh
and
no.
when I sat up and looked down, my pants were soaking wet. I had peed more than once because you know when you drink, you pee over and over. I had
Yeah.
peed more than once. Their bed was soaked. I was soaked. Their mattress was soaked. I know they had to get a new mattress. Okay, and
Damn.
so I get up. I go to the bathroom. I have no clothes to change into. So I had to drive home like that. I drove home the whole way. Needless to say, those two girls hardly ever spoke to me again. And they told their dad. I went ahead and took the fall for it. They told their dad it was my idea because they didn't want, they were Christian. They didn't want to get in trouble. And I just went ahead and
What?
took the blame. I took the blame for it all. But it was really one of them that asked it because I didn't even know this guy. I didn't know him from Adam until I met him through him. And yeah, I had peed all in their bed. It was I was
Oh.
grounded,
Oh my God.
but I was so
Wow.
embarrassed because I had peed in their bed bad.
Oh my God. But I mean, then again, they the one that invited the guy over. So he brought the liquor.
And Bridget
That's
didn't
their
know how to
fault.
handle it. She didn't know how to handle the liquor. She just went hog wild crazy.
Exactly. I mean, because when you don't know about, you know when people drink alcohol, they get drunk. But when you've never drank it before, first of all, you don't know how much you drink. Second of all, you don't know what's going to get you drunk. You could take 2 shots and be fucked up. But then when you're drinking fast like that, it's not, it's all going to hit you at once. And you're like, oh my God. I'm surprised you didn't throw up.
I never threw up, but it was hard liquor, and I definitely peed several times in their bed. But what I'm sitting there thinking is, in the middle of the night because I slept in the bed with both of them. I had to pee on them too.
Oh my God. Yeah, where were they at in the morning? Like, were they already out of bed when y'all got up?
Oh
Or
yeah,
were
because
y'all.
they didn't drink much. They didn't drink much, and it's like when I woke up, my dad was mad, and the mom and dad was standing there, and they were standing there with their arms crossed, looking at me like, and the two girls were just standing there looking at me like, I can't believe you did that.
Oh
It was
my
like
God, knowing it
all
was
eyes
happening.
was on me. All eyes was on me, and I was just covered in piss. I had it all over me.
Wow. How old were you?
Probably about 14.
About 14. Oh, wow. Yeah, I could imagine that would be embarrassing. Because you got their parents and them and your dad looking at you and you covered in piss. Oh, that
Well,
shit
not
was great
only was
too.
that night embarrassing, when we went back to school, they told everybody. So it's like everybody was like, "I heard you beat on yourself over at so and so's house." I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh, man. No, they did you dirty on that one. They did you dirty on that one. That's
I was like,
crazy.
"I sure did. I sure did."
God. So, so what do we have for the upcoming podcast after this one?
We're going to talk about fat phobic or body positive. Let's talk about weight. We're going to talk about weight and how we've handled that as bigger girls, and how we handle some of the things, and that it takes a lot to be a fat girl in today's society.
Yes, it does.
It
It
does.
really does.
Now, y'all, also, I want to tell you that we want to start 2 new series going forward. We want to start a series called Ask Bridget and Holly. And this means if you have any questions or you need some advice or there's something going on in your life that you just want to get some girlfriend input on, just somebody to get bounce some ideas off of, we want you to email us with your questions. Ask us any question. No question is off limits. Your questions will be confidential. Give us a pen name that you want to be known by, and that's what we'll call you on the show. But we'll answer your questions on the show. But go ahead and start emailing them now. That's going to be a show in the future date when we get enough questions to make a show out of it. But don't hesitate to send those questions in. Also, we want to do a confession show. If you want to confess something and you it's on your mind, it's on your chest, you've done this bad thing and you just want to get it off your chest, email us your confessions with a pen name.
Uh,
All your confessions are confidential. Once we read them on the show, we won't even talk about them afterwards. And trust and believe when we tell you that that's going to be the case. So we got a confessions series coming up, and I'm going to call it a series because I'd like to keep having different shows of it. We're going to have an Ask Bridget and Holly series coming up, and we want you to email us with those. We even want to get to the point to where we give you a night and you can call in. We're going to have a phone number that we give you, and you can call in and do your confessions and your questions, hopefully on live or something. So we wanted to do that with you guys. So we'll probably do a live for that instead of an actual podcast. But our next podcast is going to be the Fat Phobic Body Positive Let's Talk About Weight. And we hope you will tune in for that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button so you can keep up with our great shows. We have a lot in store for you guys, and we hope you enjoy it. Anything else, Miss Holly?
yes. Nope. Just I hope y'all enjoyed, and I hope everybody has a good night. And I'm looking forward to the advice column. And y'all, if you want us to tell who you are, we'll do it. We'll say your name. But what
Right.
we want to stress to y'all, you can make it anonymous.
Yep.
You can make a fake email to send it to us, or whatever name you put is and you can even put your real name and say, hey, just don't say my name.
Right.
Because y'all know us. We're truthful, we're honest, and we'll do what y'all want us to. So I'm looking forward to both of those new series coming into play into our podcast.
Yeah, and like I said, y'all, you look forward to them, but make sure you email us with your questions stuff. And if you do, be patient. If you email us with your questions and it's like 3 weeks and we still hadn't, we will keep you up to date in the email as to when we plan on trying to get it aired. But I would like to start that series by the end of the year if we can get enough questions and enough
Yes,
confessions to do it with. But I think that's going to be a great series. I think you guys
I
will
think so
enjoy that.
too.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
so
you'll
too.
enjoy it. So, if you don't have anything else, but I do want
Yeah.
to say, I hope you guys enjoyed our embarrassing moments, and I hope that they made you laugh at our expense because we were laughed at once. We're
Yeah.
okay being laughed at again. But I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Anyhow, bye.
Yeah. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.